So, hi, how many of you were here last year? Oh, see, you're the hardcore people. I love it. I love it. Maybe we should just have her sit in the chair and we'll ask her questions. What do you think? I'm so glad to be back. We're going to have a great weekend. Are you here all weekend? For the whole weekend? Sweet. Ooh, look at you, Henry. We got nice. Ooh, Ling. Excellent. I just got in late last night. United tried their very best to keep me from coming, but I made it anyway. I was like, up yours, United. I was on the flight with Henry Winkler, who played the Fonzie. Oh my gosh, when I was a little boy, I got my mom to buy me a leather jacket just like his, and I tried to dress up like him and like swoop my hair and stuff. So it was pretty cool to be with him on the plane, and very, very nice man. A lot of stuff going on. I'm really busy these days, which I love to be, and I'm so happy you guys are here. We're going to make the most of this time, and then hopefully, you're going to follow me down to the table for autographs. I'm going to go right down there because I want to meet all of you as many times as possible. Once is never enough. It is for you, but it isn't for me, basically. I know before we get into Q&A and asking questions, I know that a lot of people are going to want to ask, what are you working on right now? Here's your answer. So I made a list because I'm not really good with remembering stuff. So I'm going to name this, I'm going to read off this list, and if you recognize the things, awesome. If you don't, it's totally cool. Because chances are you're not going to recognize a lot of them. You know, there's a lot of anime out there. Some more obscure than others, right? Love that shirt, by the way. Yeah, baby. Star Trek continues. Anyway, okay, here comes the list. You ready? I always hate doing this list. Because you'll go like, da-da-da. You'll say this title, and everyone's like, okay, ready? Here comes the first one. Watch, it's going to happen just like I prophesied. Unbreakable Machine Doll. Oh, you guys are faking that. You're faking it. You never heard of it. Space Dandy. Carnival. Tokyo Raven. You guys are lying. Maji. Sailor Moon. Rock Lee. Okay, stop it. Okay, can I tell you my Rock Lee story? So years ago, when they started doing Naruto, they asked me to audition for Orochimaru. And I loved him. He's so creepy, right? And they ended up casting Steve Bloom, who is a very dear friend, and he's here this weekend. Go see him. He's awesome, cool. Tell him I love him. And so they cast Steve, and Steve's amazing. He did a great job. And I was kind of bummed out, but, you know, that's the way it goes, right? So fast forward several years, and this new show comes along, and the studio calls me and says, hey, Vic, didn't you audition for Orochimaru years ago? I was like, yeah. And they said, there's this new show called Rock Lee and His Friends, and it's like all of the Naruto characters, all chibi and cute and hijinks, crazy, wacky stuff. And Steve is not able to do the show. He's booked with other stuff, and he can't do it. We're going to send you a recording of Steve's Orochimaru, and you do your best to approximate it. Because obviously, you know, now that the character's been established, you want it to sound as much like that as possible. So I did it, and they're like, yeah, that sounds fine. And I ended up getting to play Orochimaru. Anyway, after 8 years, I finally get to play Orochimaru, so I'm kind of excited about that. Where did I leave off? Sailor Moon, Rock Lee. Free? Boys, you're allowed to like Free. I just want to say it's okay. It doesn't mean anything about your sexuality if you like Free. It's okay. Okay, did you see the swim race? Did you really? Okay, I have to tell you about this, okay? I love Free. Free. I love it. But here's why. Ever since I was a little boy, I loved sharks. You guys, when Jaws came out 20 years before you were born, I loved sharks. I mean, I was so fascinated because of Jaws that The next 3 years in high school, anytime there was a term paper or a research paper, guess what my topic was? Sharks, all the time. Yes, Shark Month, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I love them. So my mom, back in around 1980, my mom moved to Ocean City, Maryland. Beautiful vacation beach town. And I was fishing one night off of the 50 bridge. Route 50 is the highway that goes into Ocean City. And it's a bridge because Ocean City is a peninsula. So you have to go over the bay, right? So we were fishing off the bridge. So we're like, look at the ceiling, like that's where the bridge was, and we were fishing down into the water. Well, I caught something and made my rod go, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's big. And I couldn't reel him straight up, And so I started walking down the bridge, and I put my pole around the light fixtures, and keep walking. Oh, light fixture. And I got down to the shore where the water met the shore, and I reeled him in, and it was a baby sand shark. It was like this big. It was the cutest thing you've ever seen. And you know what was the best part? Is he was so little, he couldn't bite me. Like his teeth were so little, I'd put my finger in his mouth and he'd go, wow, 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 wow. And it didn't hurt. It's like, who gets to not be attacked by a shark, like play with a shark and not get hurt? This guy. So I decided I was going to keep him as a pet, because who gets to have a shark as a pet, right? So I took him home and I named him Sherman. I like alliteration. Sherman the shark. And Sherman the shy shark from Shawshank. Anyway, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna get a bucket. I got one of those big metal buckets and I filled it with water and I put him in there. And I'm like, I have a shark pet. This is the greatest day. I loved him so much, and I would pull him out, play with him. I loved him. I loved him a lot. And then after a day or two, maybe 2 days, 3 days, he wasn't swimming much anymore. And I was like, Sherman, what's wrong? And newsflash, in all my research papers, I didn't put it together that sharks swim in salt water. And I'd filled it with bathtub water, right? So I'm like, oh no, I may have killed Sherman. And I thought I need to take him back. I need to take him back to the ocean. So my cousin Robin picked up one handle of the bucket and I picked up the other, and we walked him. It was like a funeral march. We're walking him out to the ocean, and we get him there, and I picked him up and I was like, bye. One last time. And then I sat him in the surf, and he tried to swim out, and every time a wave came in, it pushed him back in because he was too weak. He wasn't strong enough to get out. And I was just like, oh no, this worst day ever. I killed Sherman. And I thought, what can I do? So I picked him back up, and then I just started wading out into the water. Just started walking out into the ocean. And I got to the point where I was like this in the water, and I was holding him up, and I'm like, bye, Sherman. And I put him underneath the water, and he swam away. And hopefully he's destroying a boat somewhere right now. But so I love sharks to death. So it was really neat to get to play Shark Boy in Free. Oh, my list. Oh, Vic. What? Did you really? Oh, a baby hammerhead? Oh, wow. Wow, they are so cool looking, aren't they? Okay, where was I? Sailor Moon, Rock Lee, Free. Brothers Conflict? Yeah! Oh my gosh, my character is such a dick. That's a medical term. I'm not being derogatory. He's just a jerk. And what's funny is before he ever came out, I was telling my friends, wait, when you see this show, he's a real jerk. And they're like, no, I'm sure he's fine. No. As soon as my friends got the first volume, they were calling me going, yeah, he's a real jerk. Like, yeah, I told you. Anyway, let's see, Brothers Conflict. Durarara? Black Butler? Okay, Black Butler story time. Okay, do you know Black Butler? Okay, first of all, I have to tell you something that's very important. This convention is the first convention that I have Black Butler headshots. I had them made with my cute character on them. I've got them at my table. I just pulled them out of the plastic 2 days ago, and this is the first show I've had them at. So If anybody here likes Black Butler and they want to get one of those, you'll be the first one on the planet Earth to get it, okay? So here's my Black Butler story. Back when the first season was launched, I auditioned for Black Butler. And I didn't get cast because apparently my British accent sucks. That's what they told me, and I believed them. So then the second season came along, and they called me and they said, we want you to audition for this character named Claude. Do you know who that is? Okay. Black Butler, you know who that is? You're a Black Butler fan, you must know Claude. Anyway, so I auditioned again, and I thought this time I'm gonna really nail it, right? I'm gonna nail that accent. I'm gonna get one of my British buddies, and he's gonna listen to it, and he's gonna sign off on it, so I'm gonna know that it's awesome. And I sent it in, and I thought this was really great. And the director called me back, and they're like, Vic, your audition was really great, but your accent still sucks. I was like, doggone it. Never gonna get to be a part of Black Butler. So then the third season, Book of Circus came along, and so they sent me a couple of roles, and I auditioned, and I got to play this guy, and I love it. And everybody in Book of Circus talks with a Cockney accent, so it's even worse than the original challenge. But I got to finally be a part of it, so I'm very excited about that. And back to my list. Black Butler. Heroic Legend of Arslan. Garo?
Yeah.
Really? Dude, I love you. I love you. Rage of Bahamut.
That's a good show. The art is cool.
I think you guys are messing with me. Show by Rock. Oh my gosh, so adorable, right? I play this character named Shuzo. He's a pop star, and so he sings. And what's really funny about that, I mean, I sing, so I get to record a couple of songs. But what's really cool is that the actor in Japan who played Shuzo, his name is Mamoru Mayano. Do you know why that's important? Because he also played Tamaki in Ouran High School Host Club. Oh, wait. But he also played Zero in Vampire Night. And he also played Rin in Free. So basically, I'm stalking this guy. He doesn't even know it. This poor Japanese guy, he's walking around the streets of Tokyo right now, has no idea I am on his tail, following him. If you read, in the news, American voice actor, stalks Japanese guy, that'll be me probably. Let's see, what's else? Rage of Bahamut, Show by Rock. Ruby? Oh my gosh, love me some Ruby. Any Crow cosplayers here? Are you tomorrow? Dude, we're getting a picture and it's going on Twitter. It's a religious thing. I have to put Crow cosplayers on Twitter. Lord Marksman of Venatus.
That sounds cool.
Wait a minute. There are the crickets I told you about. I owe that guy a $5. Like he just... let's see, where else? Ladybug? Okay, this is a video game. It's called God Eater. I assume you eat gods. I don't know exactly. Battle Battalions. Dude, I paid you for that. Where is it? Thank you.
Where are you at?
That's right. Escaflowne. Any old schoolers here? Yeah, man. Classic anime. I'm so excited. And you know what I'm really excited about Escaflowne is that I'm playing this older brother, and the younger brother is being played by Aaron Dismuke. Now, what you may not know, many of you, is that Aaron Dismuke played my younger brother in Fullmetal Alchemist. So it's really fun after all these years to be back in the saddle with my brother. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Escaflowne. World of Winx. Tonari. Utaware. Anti-Gang. Aldnoah Zero. You earned every penny of that. Okay. Pillars of Eternity. That's a game. Ooh, I almost read that one. I'm not allowed to talk about that one yet. Woo! That was close. Strike Witches, Charlotte, Rio Rainbow, Charger Girl, Judah-chan, World of Warcraft? I play this. Oh my gosh. Any World of Warcraft players in here? Okay. Do you know what character I play? He doesn't sound like this, I promise you. He's this big, mean, huge, bad orc named Ner'zhul. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And here's my Ner'zhul story. So I kept getting all of these auditions for World of Warcraft, okay? And every once in a while I would get an audition, I would be like, do they even know who they sent this audition to? Because this isn't my type. Like, I'm never gonna get cast. You know what I mean? Like, they'll send me, yeah, like Broly. Who would ever send me that audition? Because there's so many bigger, meaner, lower voiced guys that are likely to get cast, right? I'm not. So a lot of times when they would send them to me, I'm like, forget this, I don't have time to, why waste your time? So I wouldn't audition. Then that one day they sent me this Ner'zhul guy, and he's huge. He's this big, huge, bad orc. You know who he is? I see you nodding. Yeah, I mean like big bad, like he's like Broly, but not as angry, just really malevolent evil, that kind of evil. And so I thought, what the heck, right? Might as well audition. If you don't audition, you certainly won't get cast, right? So I auditioned, and then after I recorded the audition, I thought, man, if only my voice were lower. I mean, I can get it pretty low up on a good microphone, but not really low. Not Ner'zhul low, right? So I decided to record it again, and then I used the software program to pitch my voice down 2 semitones, if that means anything to anybody. A semitone is like a half step in music, right? So I did it, and I sent it in. And I even told them in the audition, I'm like, I pitched this down so they wouldn't, they wouldn't cast me, and then I'd show up going, hi! And they'd be like, who the heck is this guy? What are you, Ner'zhul's, little brother? What is this? So I got cast. After probably a dozen auditions for different World of Warcraft characters, I got cast. So I go into the studio, and I meet them, and I go, hi! And they're like, we loved your audition. And I said, now, full disclosure, I want to make sure, just for the sake of honesty, that you understand that I pitched it down. And they're like, oh, yeah, we loved that. Because when you pitch it, it gives it a weird, not quite human quality. You know what I mean? And it's not even anything you can really put your finger on. It just doesn't sound like a regular guy that talks that low, which was perfect for Ner'zhul, because he's an orc in this imaginary world. So God bless you, pitch control. The Asterix War. Oh my gosh, Star Trek Online. Star Trek Online is an online Star Trek video game. And you know what a big fan of Star Trek I am, right? Well, my show, Star Trek Continues, is just a fan production. It's not licensed. We can't make money with it. But Star Trek Online is an official CBS licensed production, which means that after all of these years, I'm actually an official part of an official Star Trek production. So I'm very excited. Thank you, guys. I'm very excited about that. Skip Beat. Very fun. Mobile Legends, 7 nights. Oh, I almost said that one. I'm not allowed to talk about that one either. I love you. You're awesome. So that's some of the stuff that I'm working on, in addition to Star Trek Continues. How many of you have seen our web series, Star Trek Continues? Nowhere near enough of you. You need to check this out. You'll enjoy it. It picks up right where the... Pardon me? Only this guy has actually been to our studio and seen our sets. We have an 18,000 square foot studio in South Georgia where we proceeded to build the entire soundstage from the original series of Star Trek. Like the original soundstage, all of it. And we have 6 full-length episodes online, free to watch. You have to check it out, promise me. I'm going to do the whole rest of the... doing the rest of the panel just like this. No. It records?
Yes. I don't know how yet.
Wait a minute. I just pushed this button and a green light came on. That was it! Kirk Enterprise, beam me and 600 other people up. Are you really? Oh, please do. Oh my gosh, please. Yes, promise? Okay, good. She's gonna be Kirk tomorrow.
And I have a present for you.
Really? Love you. I'm so excited, like my table is next to Bill Shatner.
Yes.
Now, I'm not gonna say that I paid anybody any money to make that happen, but just, I'll leave it out there. Okay, so yeah, check out Star Trek Continues, StarTrekContinues.com. StarTrekContinues.com? You gotta go too?
StarTrekContinues.com. Write that down.
You don't listen to me, listen to her. She's in charge. We have 6 full-length episodes online. So fun. Other voice actors that you know are in the show. My dear Todd Habercorn plays Mr. Spock. Chuck Huber plays Dr. McCoy. And how many of you ever watch Mythbusters? Grant Imahara from Mythbusters plays Sulu, and just a great group of people. And you'll feel like you're watching episodes of the original series that were somehow lost, locked in a vault somewhere. Our 7th episode will be premiering in Salt Lake City in the fall, and so we're very excited about it. We've had over 5 million views, and we've won over a dozen awards. People have really enjoyed it, and even if you don't like it, I bet your parents will like it. Or your cousin, or your uncle, or your school teachers, or your neighbors. So tell people about Star Trek Continues, okay? And like us on Facebook. Even if you don't like us, like us. Can't hurt. Okay, let's talk about anything you want to talk about. We've got a microphone right here. And come on to this microphone so people can hear you if you have a question. And we're going to spend a little time chatting. And then we're all going to go down to my table, right? You guys are going to come down there and say hello and let me give you a hug and we can take pictures. And
this guy has the best question. No,
yeah, you get to go first. Come on.
Go first.
Come on up here. First of all, bring it in.
Love you. Met you before, this is the third time.
Oh, yes!
I actually picked you up and held you and took a picture.
You picked me up and held
Comic-Con
me.
in Birmingham.
Oh, my gosh. She enjoyed that. What?
Can we do it again?
Oh, we'll do it downstairs.
Okay.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, my question.
I want to make sure William Shatner sees it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bill's gonna be like, what the hell is that guy doing? Why is he picking Vic up in the air? Go ahead.
My question is Ouran High School host club based.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I love Ouran.
Me too, that's my favorite. My second favorite anime of all time, my favorite one you do.
Oh, thank you.
Call me king. But anywho, my question is, what do you imagine happened after the last episode ended?
Well, I don't have to imagine because the manga continued.
Yeah.
They went off to college, right? Haruhi got accepted to college. Did you watch Ouran? You watch Ouran High School?
Actually, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
It's the greatest show. You need to see it. Ouran High School.
I'll check it out, I promise.
Right? You have to see it. You'll love it. But apparently, Haruhi goes off to college, and Tamaki doesn't want the host club broken up, so he makes them all move to Harvard, I think, is what I think happens. And then in the end, they get married. Spoiler.
I have the whole manga set. I was thinking, like, from you, what would you like to have seen?
I like that just fine. I think that's in fact, you know what? I've often said if I had a lot of money, I would pay personally to make another season of Ouran High School. I love that show so much, and everybody that worked on it loved it. So, oh, I forgot to tell you when we were talking about free. Remember I said the swim race? Right after we started recording the show, Funimation called me and Todd Habercorn and said, because our characters are they're kind of frenemies, you know what I mean? They're like longtime friends, but there's a rivalry kind of thing. And they called us and they said, would you be willing to help us promote free? And I said, sure. And Todd said, sure. And so, so then they said, we want you guys to have a swim race. We want the two of you to race in the swimming pool. Now, I'm an athlete. I've played sports my whole life. I swam Football, baseball, soccer, racket sports, you name it, anything. I love it. Todd wasn't much of he didn't do that. It's not a dig, it's just he didn't. That wasn't his thing. But he's 20 years younger than I am too. And he works out all the time, so I thought, after I said yes, I thought this could go either way. Like, yeah, I'm a good athlete, but he's 20 years younger than I am, and he could just beat me by sheer stamina. But we'd already agreed to do it, so we're stuck, right? So we went to the swimming pool, and Funimation sent a video team and shot the race. Did you see it? Okay, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but it's on YouTube, so you need to go watch it, all right? Check it out. Yes?
So I have 2 questions. First one, where do you buy your pants?
Really?
Because every time I've seen you, the pants you've been wearing are impeccable.
Wait for tomorrow, dude. Tomorrow is No Pants Saturday. No, I'm just kidding. No, just teasing. You know what? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Sure. You know what? I get them wherever I can get them. But I'm going to give you a little shameless plug here for a friend of mine in LA. There's a store on Melrose called Forgotten Saints, and a lot of performers shop there. Really cool custom stuff. And here's the best part. They have a website. So you can buy stuff off their website. So if you're interested in checking out a cool new clothing place, Forgotten Saints on Melrose.
And then my actual question. Because you have a very, very extensive repertoire under your belt at this point. Which of your characters...
I don't have a belt.
Oh, well, all right.
I'm just kidding.
Which of your characters that you've had the pleasure of voice acting do you feel that you've related to the most on a personal level?
On a personal level?
On a personal level.
I would say a very obscure anime called Princess Nine. Anybody see Princess Nine? What a great show. It was about a girls' baseball team. And I was the captain of the boys' baseball team. And they played the girls' baseball team, but I fell in love with the girl that was the big star of the girls' baseball team. And I loved this character. His name was Hiroki Takasugi. And I loved him so much, you guys. This is the level of my nerddom. I loved him so much that I went to a sporting goods store in Houston and I paid them to custom make me a baseball jersey just like my character wore in the show. It had the literally embroidered kanji on the chest that said Kisaragi High School, had his name on the back and his number, and I would wear it when I recorded. So that's what a big nerd I am, okay? But if I could say who would I love to be like, I would love to be Tamaki. In fact, I have to tell you, and ask, you know what, I love you. Ask Caitlin Glass, who's here this weekend, ask her about, before Ouran had ever been licensed or recorded or anything, Caitlin called me one day and she said, oh my gosh, I found this show, and there's this character in this show, it's you. It's you. And so I was like, well, I want to see this show, right? So she gave me a DVD with, 3 or 4 episodes of Ouran on it. Had no idea what it was about. I started watching it, and I fell in love with Tamaki. I just loved him so much. So I was so excited and honored and, just really blessed when I got to voice the character. So go ahead, question.
Oh. I don't know if you can answer this, but when is Arslan coming back? Because I've been waiting. I know it's this month, but I don't know when.
I don't know when. I have no idea what the distribution schedule is.
All right, cool. That's all I wanted to know.
Hopefully soon, though. It's already been recorded. That's the one that's Silver Mask, right? That's the guy, the Phantom of the Opera guy that I. Yeah.
Who did you play? How many characters?
Was. No, I play Silver Mask. I think his name is Helmes. Yeah. Maybe it just meant that I was part of the show Arslan. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, check it out. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Hey there.
First of all, that show Princess Nine you mentioned, that was an ADV dub, wasn't it? Way back?
The which show?
Princess Nine.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that. You got to come back for.
Hold on a minute. I'm fascinated by the conversation over here.
Oh, we were just discussing, like, we thought you were Arslan, and then I was like, oh, wait, he was Hermes.
You want to hear something funny? After we recorded the first season, he was Hermes. I went back, and the director's like, okay, don't ask me why, but the Japanese want us to call him Helmes now. Helmes. I was like, we already did a whole season with Hermes. And the director was like, I know. Yeah. So now he's Helmes. Helmes. But it's the same guy. It's the same guy. It was like in Bleach, I played Ikaku, the bald Soul Reaper. And then like the next season, they're like, now they want us to say Ikaku. I'm like, what? We already established, you know what I mean? It's like we already established it. But, whatever. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up, recently you reprised in Utawara Mono, and you also did a little bit in Tonari, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what was it like being back at Sentai at that studio after such a long time?
You know what, my friend? It was bittersweet. I will tell you, because for those of you that don't know, I started at a convention, at a studio in Houston called ADV Films. And I did a lot of work with ADV before I met Funimation, and then I started working with Funimation as well as ADV. And a few years ago, ADV went out of business. And they lost all of their licenses, and all the shows that I was working on there were gone. And some of them were picked up by Funimation, some of them went elsewhere. But ADV restructured, and they became Sentai. I don't live in LA. I live in LA now. I don't live in Houston anymore. So I don't get to work with them very much. So when they called me and said Utaware was coming back, I was like, oh, great. And I was really excited to get back there. Kyle Jones, who's directing it, who is a dear friend of mine. He directed a lot of stuff I was in.
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely one of my favorite directors.
He's wonderful. I love him. But it was bittersweet because it's not the same building. It's not a lot of the same people. So it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Nice to be back, but sad because I miss the original.
Yeah, it was really cool to see you going back there.
Thank you.
I won't lie.
Thanks,
like,
man.
recently, a few weeks ago, I was watching Nadesco, and that was way back when you were starting.
Oh my
out.
gosh, that may have been Nadesco. May have been like one of the second or third shows that I did.
Yeah, I was like, I heard you as just nameless extra, and I was thinking about like, wow, Vic has come a really long way, starting out as just this random soldier, and now he's, Broly.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Now it's Broly, Ed, all of this, and like, wow, that's.
Well, if you stick with something long enough, who knows what'll happen? That's one of the good things about being as old as I am. Thank you, man. Thank you.
The other thing I want to talk about was what was it like working on Gato? Even though I'm probably like the single person who ever.
Well,
watched it.
I really enjoyed it. In fact, the character that I played is such an evil creature. It's a wonderful character, and he gets older, and it's really fun playing him at different ages. That kind of thing is really challenging, for an actor. I mean, that's always fun to do something challenging. Like
I really love the show, and you did a really good job, especially since his Japanese voice was very deep. But you really made it work.
Caitlin actually directed that.
Yeah.
And
she did an
I
awesome
said,
job.
"Do you want me to sound like him?" And she's like, "No, I want you to. I don't like what he did. I'd like you to do something different." So we kind of came up with that.
You made it
together.
work. You guys made it work. It was really good.
I don't know. Can you guys maybe go to another room if you want to talk? Can we go somewhere else? We can all hear you talking. Can you? Thank you. Go ahead.
I was just saying.
Thank you.
You really made it work.
And
really
tell Caitlin that you enjoyed that show. Thank you. Yes, my dear. Hi.
Hi. So I just wanted to say that for anyone who hasn't seen Star Trek Continues.
Wait, listen to this woman. She's very wise. What she's about to say is very insightful. Go ahead.
It is the most impressive show that I've ever seen, and it's so authentic and genuine. And I love the way that your team has put together the show because it's like a throwback to the old school style, but you use modern technology to bring it about. So it's got like this really amazing, crisp, nice colors.
I love you.
Everything is just
so We're
good.
screening this weekend, aren't we? Aren't we? When is it? Tomorrow or Sunday? Tomorrow. Okay, guys, can we make a promise? Can we make a little pact? You guys have to see this. We're screening it. What? Yes. Episode 6, we're screening the brand newly released episode 6 at this convention tomorrow. It's in the panel, it's in the program somewhere. Can you find it? Thank you. 7:45 tomorrow evening. Oh my gosh, what room? What?
It's
Flamingo Ballroom 4. You guys, please come. And I'll let you know a little secret. I brought a big box of presents. And if you come to the panel, you just might get one. Okay? Thank you for that.
So I love everything that your team does, you know, from the costumes to the set to everything. It's just so authentic and so genuine. And honestly, I think, this is just my personal opinion, but I think I'm right about it. I think that you are Captain Kirk. I don't think you're the best Captain Kirk. I think you are Captain Kirk. So to me, you just...
You know what? I love Bill Shatner and the original series so much. When I was a little boy, that show was everything to me. I made my mother crazy with my obsession with Star Trek. She hated it. I mean, like, she called it Star Trash. because I lived it. You know what I mean? I was obsessed with it. I got her to teach me to use a sewing machine so I could make my own uniforms. I would lock myself in my room for hours and hours at a time, building props and communicators and phasers and model ships, and I loved it so much. And so Star Trek Continues is my love letter to Star Trek, to how much it meant to me and how it inspired me in many ways to do the things that I do professionally now. I started doing for the first time because I loved the series so much.
Tell them about the warp core, how it looks on screen.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you guys, come see episode 6 tomorrow night, because episode 6, in addition to having all kinds of wonderful things, we premiere on screen for the first time the engineering room. The big giant engine room that Scotty was in. It's like 2 stories high, and there's the big core, you know, that big giant tunnel that goes off in the distance. Well, what people don't realize is that tunnel was really only 12 feet deep. It was something that studio production people call force perspective. You make things smaller and smaller, so it tricks the eye into thinking they're further away. And that's what they did, and we replicated that perfectly. This guy's been to our studio. It's absolutely breathtaking, and nobody has rebuilt that set to this degree since the original series ended in the 60s. So please come, and hopefully she's going to be there, and I'd love for all of you to be there.
I saw it at MegaCon, so...
Oh, yes! Thank you.
But, so I was wondering if you could do as Kirk.
Did you see the video online that I did?
Yes.
I did a little remake of that scene with Khan. When he's talking to Khan on the communicator. Oh, you have to let me borrow your communicator. So Kirk is talking to Khan, right? And he says, Khan, you've got Genesis, but you don't have me, Khan. You were going to kill me. You got to come down here. You got to come down here. And then, of course, Ricardo Montalban is like, I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her. Buried alive. What is it? Stranded on a dead planet. Buried alive. And then, of course, Shatner for all time. Thank you. What is your question, my dear? Hi, that's for you.
Do you mind if you can say my favorite quote from Ouran High School Host Club?
What is your favorite quote from Ouran High School Host Club?
Honey's 3 sweet bitter days when Honey threw you a bear on the floor and then you said...
What did I say?
You said, no, my teddy bear!
I said that?
Yes.
I like the way you did it. I really do. I think hers was perfect. Let's see. Okay, you be Honey Senpai, and I'll be Tamaki. Ready? You do the throwing, and then I'll react, okay? Go. No, my teddy bear! I have something very important to tell you. You're a hero to poor people. Long live the poor. Thank you, sweetie.
Do you mind if you can sign something?
I would love to sign that for you. Thank you. What's your name, baby?
Gina.
Hey, Vic, you have 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
So 15. We'll try to get through everybody, but we're at the 15-minute mark, just to let you guys know.
Thank you, sweetie. What's your question, my dear?
I just wanted to say
Oh, wait. Let's make sure people can hear you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that you're my favorite voice actor, and
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I'm the oldest voice actor. No, just kidding. Hi.
Hi. What's the weirdest question you've gotten so far?
Oh, I get a lot of weird ones, but people mean well.
Yeah.
You know? Like they ask you weird things, but they don't mean to be weird. Do you know what I mean? Like somebody one time, I think I mentioned, you guys know this story.
Lick the
Yeah,
hand.
somebody asked me if I would allow them to lick my hand. And I was like, oh, sweetheart, ooh, no. And then she started crying.
Yeah.
And made me feel really bad, so of course I let her do it. I had to. The peer pressure. But I've had a lot of interesting questions, you know. Boys asking if they could kiss me on the mouth, and no. I like girls, but they mean well. You know what I mean? Like I know that it comes from a place of, you know what I mean? Enthusiasm. They love something. You know, I remember loving Star Trek and obsessing over that, or Star Wars, or Battlestar Galactica, or any number of things. So I get it. I totally get it. You know what? When I was a little kid, how old are you, baby?
I'm 13.
Boom. When I was 13, my mom, we remember her, she would take me to Star Trek conventions dressed as Captain Kirk, and I was probably about your size, and I would go to conventions, and I would meet the original actors. Now, how surreal is it that downstairs my table is by Bill and 2 tables over is Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov. When I was your age, sweetheart, I went to a convention in Pittsburgh and met him.
That's cool.
Stuck my hand across the table and shook his hand. And how crazy is it that I'm here with him now? Isn't that amazing? So dreams come true, guys, that's for sure.
Also, can I get a hug?
Yes, come here. What's your question, sweetie? Hi.
Hello. I just wanted to say something first. I want to say thank you for bringing all our favorite characters to life.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, sweetie.
And,
my pleasure.
You're like my favorite voice actor. I'm like really nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Actually, I have a question I know that you've been working with Rooster Teeth. And
Yes.
I know you play Crow.
Yes.
And I want to know if we're going to see more of you in the upcoming season.
Oh, I hope so.
Is there a favorite line or how
I
you
just,
feel like
you know what?
working with
I have to tell you, the Rooster Teeth thing was such a weird, random thing. I was doing a convention appearance in Australia, and they were there promoting Ruby. I didn't even know what Ruby was, but they came up to me and they said, "Hey, we'd love to take a look at some of our stuff." And they showed me, you know, their artwork, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." A few weeks after we got back from Australia, they contacted me and they said, "Would you be interested in playing a role?" And I said, "Sure." Now, the funny thing is, I've never seen it. To this day, I've never seen it. In fact, I record my lines at my house in Los Angeles. So I don't even see the animation. Huh?
It's on Netflix.
I have to go watch it, I know. But it's funny because I've never seen it. And here's the thing. They'll send me just literally a bunch of lines. And then I will record variations of lines. Like, you know, one might be, "What do you want?" But maybe I'm saying it to that guy over there. I don't know, right? Because I haven't seen it. So I go, "What do you want?" Right? So you got to give them some options. So every time they send me a script, I'll send them 3 or 4 versions of each line. And then they pick what works best. So thank you. I love you. What's your name?
My name's Aaliyah.
Aaliyah?
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful. Say hi to Aaliyah, everybody.
Hi.
If you see her around the con this weekend, give her a hug and say hi.
Yay, love hugs.
Yay.
Can I actually have
Yes,
one?
you can. Come here.
Yay.
Good hugger. Yes, sir.
All right, I have 2 questions.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you something. Can I hold you 1 second?
No.
I totally forgot this. This is my chance to tell people this, and I forgot. You guys know that I do music, right? That I write and produce music professionally. A lot of you guys, maybe not in this room, but people that were attending this convention this weekend wrote me and said, are you going to be bringing your music CDs? Because I would love to get some. I did. I have them at the table. But I also have something very special. A few years ago, I did a live concert DVD. I did a live concert performance at a convention. Have you seen it? Do you have it? Do you have it? Okay, I did not pay this woman. This is totally impromptu. Did you hear her? She's amazed. Thank you. She really enjoyed it. But here's the thing. It's a really great concert, live concert. Video's awesome. The crowd is awesome. The music is great. It's a 5.1 Dolby mix if you have surround. Songs from Fullmetal, Teen Angel, Ouran High School, Dragonball Z. But there's something else on the DVD that might really scare you. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We can hope. Back when I was recording Fullmetal Alchemist, I wanted to cosplay. I was loving Ed so much that I wanted to figure out a way that I could cosplay. So I came up with a story whereby a grown man starts turning into an anime character. And then I started thinking, you know, I don't think any of the other voice actors have ever cosplayed as their characters. So I asked them if they wanted to be a part of this, and they were all like, heck yes, we do. So we all got together one weekend in Houston, Texas, and we shot a little short film called Full Metal Fantasy. And it's basically the voice actors from Full Metal cosplaying as their characters. Now, it's never been available anywhere. I've only shown it at conventions or in a concert. I would show it in a live concert, and then I would come out and I would play the Brothers theme and sing the, you know, how can I repay you, brother mine? And I would do it live on the piano, and it was a really nice segue from Fullmetal Alchemist, from Fullmetal Fantasy into the song. A lot of you guys, so when I decided to make the concert DVD, I decided to put Fullmetal Fantasy on it as well. So Fullmetal Fantasy is on the DVD along with all the great other music and video, and I brought that as well. I'll have it at the table and would love for you to have it and even be happy to sign it if you'd like. So I'd forgotten to say that because a lot of people wouldn't know if I didn't make an announcement about it. So, yes, sir.
All right, 2 things. 1, should I be able to hear you in My Hero Academia at some point?
I don't, but say 7 minutes. You know what? Not yet. Not yet. There are a couple of new shows that I am a part of that I'm very excited about, but I'm not allowed to talk about them yet. I know, it's driving me nuts. They're in my list, and I haven't been able to, I have to jump over them when I see them in the list because I'm not allowed to talk about them yet. But I hope to get to be a part of it. Is it being dubbed now?
Yes.
Who's dubbing it? Do you know?
Funimation, I believe.
Is Funimation dubbing it?
I think so.
Okay. I will have to look into that.
All right.
Is it a good show?
Yeah, good show.
Okay, good. I'll look into it. Thanks, man.
Could you say hi to my friend Chris in Crow's voice?
Who's Chris?
He's over there.
Crow. So you're a Ruby fan?
Yeah.
This guy back here is going to be cosplaying as Crow tomorrow. If you're Crow, you just got to drop it down here. Did you miss me? No. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey there.
Hi. I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
And the first one is, what do you think would happen if Fullmetal Alchemist and Ouran High Host Club collided?
Oh my gosh.
How would characters react?
The solar system would explode. I can imagine Tamaki trying to recruit Edward. You know, and trying to, and Edward and Honey Senpai fighting it out for the little boy Lolita role. Oh my gosh! You're right. You are so right. I never thought about that, but you're right. That's a great question. What was your second question?
And my second question is, who do you ship in Ouran High Host Club?
I don't ship anybody.
Don't?
I'm not a shipper. I'm sorry. And I love people that ship things, but I don't ship myself. So, I'm sorry. Who do you ship?
Honestly, I ship Tamaki and Kyoya.
Do you really?
I mean,
I ship Tamaki and Haruhi.
you guys
Exactly.
It's kind of a thing.
Thank you, sweetie. Yes, you may. Come here.
We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yes, my dear.
I have 3 very quick questions.
Okay, go ahead. Super
First
fast.
one, can you do the France and the Tamaki's voice? Your favorite quotes?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm not France. I'm Greece.
Oh, Greece, sorry.
And Greece would love you because you
Yeah.
have cat ears on right now. So all you need to, if you're Greece, 90% of your lines have something to do with cats, right? Pretty much. So anything you say is a cat, you know, like, I love cats. Cats are my favorite. That's pretty much all he says. Tamaki is just, you just have to be romantic. Tamaki just needs to be romantic. So, you know.
Long live the poor.
Long live the poor, yes.
My second question is, do you remember me from the last year's Comic Con?
Were you here last year? I thought
was
I
the
remembered your
Kitty
face and I
Russia.
didn't know what convention I might have
Kitty
seen you at.
Russia.
Ah, yes.
And you
nice to
said-
see you again. What's your name?
My name is Savannah, but
Savannah?
my friends call
Everybody,
me
this is
Dakota.
Savannah. Say hi.
Hi, Savannah.
And what's your third question, babe?
My third question is, can I have a hug?
Yes. Are you a good hugger? Wait. Yes. Are you good? Yes. All right. Do you know how to glomp? She just said what?
She's a child.
Okay, I think she could be a good glomper, though. I think she'd be a good glomper, don't you think? Okay, here's the glomp. Ready? Go stand, like by her. Go stand in that circle right there, okay? And I'm going to stand in this circle. And you come running at me and give me your best hug. You ready? Hold on. I don't want to break the microphone. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Your first glomp. Your father would be so proud. Yes.
Hey, Vic, you're the man. You're the man.
You are, man. That sounds like something
No, I'm not
Junpei
the
would
man.
say.
You're the man.
You the man.
No, you're the man. I just wanted to ask, using equivalent exchange, what would you give up to have your own U.S. enterprise, like the actual spaceship in space?
Do I get to be the captain?
Yes. And you get to pick out your own crew.
Who do I have to kill? No. Ooh, what a moral dilemma. If you kill William Shatner, you get your own USS Enterprise. No, I would never harm Bill. I would let him be the captain and I would be his first officer. So we could both enjoy the Enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, this probably has to be the last question because we're out of time and then we're all going downstairs, right? That's right. So we're close. Yes, my dear.
Hi.
Hi.
What are your tips for amateur voice actors?
Oh, good question. What a perfect question to end on. I know that there are probably a lot of people here that are interested in voice acting. So here are the 2 things that you need to know about voice acting. Number 1, voice acting is not about changing your voice. I'm sure I can't change my voice 1,000 different ways. But it's not about making funny voices or imitating funny characters. It's about acting. Acting is the most important part of voice acting. I know that maybe seems obvious, but some people don't really think about that. And if you're interested in voice acting, the first thing I would encourage you to do is get as much experience in acting as you can. Get involved in school plays, community theater, church productions, anything to develop your skills as an actor. The second thing is you have to be where that kind of work is done. That's a harsh reality, right? I mean, if I wanted to be a country music singer, I would probably move to Nashville, right? Country music capital of the world. I would probably, depending on what you want to do, you need to go to the places where that kind of work is prominent. So when it comes to voice acting, there are only a handful of places. I mean, there's Houston and Dallas, and there's Los Angeles, obviously, and New York. There's some in Vancouver. But and you can write Vancouver off because they don't hire Americans. They wanted me to be in Inuyasha. And I couldn't because I wasn't a Canadian. And then I was supposed to be in Death Note. And, but they couldn't get the studio to approve using me because it was a Canadian, they did the production in Canada, and part of the deal is you have to use Canadians. That's part of the trade-off. So, but there are just a handful of places. So that would be what I would say. Almost every voice actor I know has a huge background in theater and in acting. So that's really the real key to it. Okay? Thank you, sweetie. Right on time, 2:15. You guys, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Have a fun weekend, and I will hope to see you down at the autograph table. Thanks so much.